Which crypto project should I be buying to make massive gains in December 2023? When is the best time to buy them and how do I get into them? Well guys, in this video I'm going to break down everything you need to know to stop being a sheep and just buying blindly into the markets. I'm going to tell you exactly using a very simple beginner friendly process to be able to identify buy zones on a crypto chart, as well as that to understand the general sentiment across the market and understand where we could be heading next with the overall market. Hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, every single day in my free Telegram group, linked down below in the description, someone runs in and they say, have you heard of this coin? What's it about? And then another person be like, well, this coin's really good because it's been talked about by this person and that person. And then I'm like, well, why are people suddenly talking about a coin I've never heard of? I go across to MEXC, I go across to KuCoin, and lo and behold, to the top of the list, it's up 130%. The person who's asking about it, no idea what it does. They're just like, wow, this is moving. That's exciting. And it is. There's also a damn good way to get wrecked. But that's okay. We were all new once. Now, I know it comes towards the end of the month and many people start to get paychecks. And with those paychecks, they might start to look into crypto. Well, first of all, I want to tell you to be a little bit cautious about diving in too hard to these markets right now. And there is a big reason for that. The crypto market has been up very hard recently. And this has meant that a lot of YouTubers and stuff out there are delivering heavily bullish news on all your favorite crypto projects. That's because it suits your confirmation bias and it's going to make you feel good and you're more likely to subscribe to them. However, you should be aware of this. Herd mentality. Scientists at the University of Leeds in the UK believe that they may have found humans flock like sheep and birds, subconsciously following a minority of individuals. Subconsciously, that means without even thinking, you potentially are following blindly some YouTubers, maybe myself, maybe others out there. And let me tell you, there is some shocking advice I've seen being given recently on various YouTube channels out there. So be very, very cautious about blindly following someone who you may think might be a bit of a legend or anyone else out there, okay? Research discovered that it takes a minority of 5% to influence a crowd's direction, and the other 95% will just follow without realizing it. Now, as you may have realized, myself and every other crypto YouTuber out there has no qualification to be able to deliver you any particular news or information. We tend to share with you our kind of gut feelings and all that other good stuff, but as well, some research that we've done and maybe taking into account some charts and different bits and pieces. However, anyone who fancies it can get themselves a camera and talk to you and build up a little bit of a YouTube following. And that's dangerous because then you are easily manipulated to go and jump in and do some stupid stuff. However, people are probably not preparing you for both sides of the story. What we must know is that the human mind likes to follow patterns. And now we're seeing the charts moving towards the upside. We have the idea that we are completely indestructible and we can just continue to make money right now. However, if you're getting your paychecks right this second and you're expecting to make more money by the end of next month, well, you need to be cautious. But next month, for a lot of the world, particularly my audience, is Christmas. Do not go and spend money in crypto that you can't afford to lose, because this is the month that most people probably can't afford to lose if you have to buy expensive birthday presents and all that stuff. Right now, Bitcoin is very high, okay? It's been pushing up very hard recently without much pullback. What we are seeing is the potential for a evening star candlestick pattern, okay, where you get this little top in the middle, which could push us down towards this level. Now, a little push down in Bitcoin like that is around 3 or 4%. Now, that might not seem like much, but 4 or 5% move in Bitcoin could be more like a 10 to 15% move in some of those altcoins more recently that have seen big juicy gains. Now, if Bitcoin breaks below this red pattern here and comes back down to this level around 10% down, then you're looking at a more like a 20 to maybe even 30% decline in the likes of Solana and other coins that recently have seen very big pumps. Now, I'm very much in the opinion, along with El Crypto Prof here, that we are in a bull market and we will see sustained upside action. And that we can see here, but there is obviously always likely chances for decline along the way. That's why we need to be able to wait patiently for the decline and know when to get in. Now, I know many of you are waiting to FOMO into the next crypto project that pumps 10% or 20%. As we look across to Lunar Crush, the coins that have been getting most attention recently, as you would imagine, are the coins that have been seeing upside action. XRP actually miraculously has moved a few percent towards the upside. In fact, That's a lie. In the last 7 days, it's actually down 6%. But overall, this month's not actually been too bad. Solana up 6%. Chainlink was up and then sort of going down a little bit. Casper up another 52%. And then you got like Cardano, Doge, Binance Coin up here, Avalanche, etc. So there's a very big obvious link between coins that are pumping and how many people are talking about them and excited about them, which is kind of a dangerous link, okay? Because lots more people are going to be talking about coins when maybe you've missed that initial pump. So what are we looking for? Well, I'm going to use Matic as an example from the last bull market of potential patterns that you could be seeing. I'm going to use Matic because it had very aggressive pumps towards the upside, and then saw some sort of sideways action. You'll notice this is on a daily chart that when we have very big pumps like this, we tend to have a little bit of a cool off process, and then we get some very nice continuation patterns. This is a very obvious continuation pattern here, like this, that we can see coming out of Matic. Now, what you see here is a bit of sideways action in the middle of this. And if we were to zoom into a 4-hour there, then you'll see that this represents a buy zone, which is what I'll talk about in a minute. Just for now, I'll just draw this box. Buy zones we're going to mark up today with green boxes, okay? You'll notice that after this dip into this area, it rallies very hard and fast out of it. It then comes back down into this area, and then it gets bought up again, it pushes up. But then we also have this. We don't necessarily return back to the buy zone more than once because we get more bullish pressure. This higher lows, okay? So these are lows, the bottom of the chart. They're getting bought up. It pushes the price up. It forms this triangle. You can see flat top and kind of like a little thing like this. What it does, it'll break. It comes back to retest that area, and then you get a continuation. This is the first pattern that I want you to take a screenshot of. You can pause the video, take a screenshot of this and identify this pattern, because this happens in an uptrend time and time again. Now, as you can see, looking into Bitcoin, if Bitcoin falls to this red line, which I think is fairly reasonable chance of happening potentially, we might see another bounce like this. We then see maybe this continuation. This, you'll notice, is one of those ascending triangles we just talked about. However, Bitcoin could theoretically just push right away and do something like that, okay? Do I know? No. Does anyone know? No. Another big thing I want to correct people on is that a lot of like people out there are telling you stuff as if it's guaranteed to happen. Be very cautious. Nothing is guaranteed to happen. You could wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin could be down 30%. You could wake up tomorrow and any coin you hold could be down 50%. And don't tell me it's not true just because this guy or that guy told you on a video once that, you know, they know for sure and they experienced and whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now here we got to look at something else, right? When you've had coins that have previous data up here, previous data higher than the current price being down here, actually that's a lie, current price being there, then it's easier to identify areas we might see little pullbacks, because previous areas of resistance equal future potential areas of resistance. Not guaranteed, but potential. So what we can do is we can draw ourselves some boxes across here, and we can make them red, just to let us know that these are areas we might see a little stoppage, okay? How am I identifying these areas? Well, go across to tradingview.com. It's free, okay? You can get paid versions, but most of you just need a free version. Look for this, right? When we're going down, we get pullbacks to areas of resistance. You get pullbacks to areas the price gets resisted at, okay? Pullback there. You'll notice that previously there's this area through here. We had kind of stalling, eventually we broke through. We then get to the next level, we get rejected, okay? Potentially we'll get rejected, we'll push back down to the previous area of support before breaking up to this next level. Maybe that happens again, and that's where a good continuation happens, okay? So if you're looking at a coin right now, let's say we've drawn our red box and this is AJAX and you're sat in here, do you want to be buying into a red box? No. Correct. Hooray. It might go further, but so what? You missed it. Should have bought it down here. Okay? You missed it. Be patient. There's another coin that's going to pump another day. We want to wait because it might pull back. So if I think it might pull back to this area, what can I do if I'm hugely impatient and panicked? Well, first of all, is to separate yourself from your emotions. Don't impulse buy, okay? Because you get wrecked. What we can do is we can right click here and we can add an alert. And I can say this, buy AJAX, create. Okay, other things I want to show you is that lots of charts will follow similar patterns to what others have done. Because I'll let you in on a secret, the chart doesn't really understand how good the tech is behind the project or blah, 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 okay? The chart literally represents people what and they think it's worth, okay? People buying and people selling. That's all it is. Easy. Many charts recently have done this. They've dipped like this. They've reached an area into this kind of green buy zone and they ripped out of it. So let's identify what a buy zone looks like. For this, I'm going to use Casper as an example, okay? As we can see, the price has moved aggressively towards the upside for quite some time now. But I want to point out a very clear buy zone that we could see actually a while back in the autumn. Now on the way up, you can see the Casper did this. It had very big aggressive pumps, one, and then another one that came in sort of here that in fact originated from this sort of area here. Now what we can do on the way up, if we don't already see this data, okay, imagine this is out of sight, we haven't seen this before, is we can use the buy zone concept. Now this would be taking a rectangle and drawing it from areas of interest on the way up. Now notably, you may never get back to a buy zone straight away. Here you can see Casper has like a buy zone, it pushes up, it dips back down a bit and then it pushes up again, which means that we're going to have to increase the buy zones to the next level. What we're looking for here, you can see the dip back down, the hard push. You then get another one here before that push. Okay, so if it keeps pushing up and pushing up, eventually you're going to have to find a buy zone that it's going to want to come back to. And as you drag this across, you'll see that Casper then comes back into a buy zone here. Now, if you are trying to DCA in or dollar cost average in, this is what you might want to do. Let's say we got $1,000 and we missed out on all this upside here, which was unfortunate. We had $1,000. We could potentially say that we would put in $500 into Casper at this point. That means that we have $500 left over. If Casper breaks down to here, then we put another $250 in. If it breaks down to here, then we put another $250 in. And you can see that would have been a pullback, further pullback of around another 20%. You could do this on a 4-hour chart. You can actually do this on like a 5-minute chart. You're really desperate to get in, guys. Go for like a 15-minute chart, but you're less reliable, okay? The chances of your buy zone not holding up are less reliable. Here we can see another very interesting point, okay? Again, we get a buy zone. We get a dip back down, this very strong push, and it comes up. Now look at this candle, and look, as it pushes down, it comes into here, to the buy zone. Guess what it does? It rips all the way back up. So if you'd set in like a limit order on this buy zone to buy, then within like a moment, you probably could have made 22%. Where's the next buy zone? The next buy zone sat here. We can see sideways action, aggressive push up. The buy zone price then dips back in. And guess what? Next time it dips in, it gets bought up again. Again, it's pushing higher. Now that doesn't mean that these buy zones can't hold up, okay? It doesn't mean that there's no chance that these buy zones are gonna ever break. And there are times that maybe it pushes here and then it breaks and then it pushes even lower. But you would have to agree with me, you'd be much happier and calmer buying in this buy zone area than buying the kind of tops of these wicks, okay? Because 25% down there, yeah, it pushes higher, but effectively if it gets down into there, we've got better price action. Does it mean that Casper's just going to carry on up from that buy zone? No, absolutely not. But it's a much safer way of doing things than buying these massive pumps because it stops this happening to you. As you can see, this is the last bull market. Solana pushed all the way up here and then fairly quickly it eventually closed down around 45% down. Notably, you can see the buy zones for Solana. Here was one here. You can see that we did dip back into it and we pushed out of it again, but then it failed on the second attempt. And then you can see that there's a second buy zone slightly lower down in this area through here. You can see that Solana close enough gets into this buy zone here after pulling back nearly 45% and then continues higher. And if you want to see what looks like a really good setup, then look at Quant right now. This is Quant. Zoom out on the daily. Quant in basically this descending kind of pattern going down through here. Now, that's obviously useful and people look at these triangles and that triangle and it might seem clear, but all things you can guarantee, the only thing that you can really guarantee is that when a price is at a certain level and you can see big buys coming in, then it's a good value. Right now, this shows that Quant was a good value there. This is a multi-billion-dollar market cap coin, and during this period of time through here, you can see that it was getting aggressively bought up by big money. That means that if it jumps back into that zone again, it's good value for those people. So it jumps back in here. Guess what? We can pull that box across, and then knowing, yeah, it's part of this wider pattern, but it's getting bought up in this area tells us that Quant's likely to shove out of here right now. And you jump into the daily on that, and you can see if Quant then breaks from this buy zone area here, then it's likely going to push up to around $227. Is yet to see much interest and excitement. The only thing you should be doing if you're waking up and seeing a coin that is massively up on that particular day is looking at that particular coin and identifying the buy zones, setting yourself alerts on them, so that if it comes back to one of those buy zones, eventually you can buy into it. But don't buy the spikes, okay? No matter what the coin is, no matter how many times someone tells you that it's the perfect coin to be buying right now. Because what you're hearing about this coin and that coin, I've heard it all before for other coins before. We heard about it in Solana when Solana was $260. Lo and behold, a year later it's worth $8. I'm not saying that's going to happen to coins right now because we are in a bull market, but we will see significant pullbacks throughout this bull market. And that's your opportunity to load up calmly and collectively without putting yourself into a world of hurt. And if you want to calmly and collectively buy into different cryptocurrencies, then you shouldn't be doing it on the likes of Coinbase because it's going to cost you loads of money. You should be doing it in MEXC, which is linked down below, because it has 0% spot maker take fees. That means you can trade for literally free, guys. You can change your Ethereum to USDT or Casper, whatever it is, absolutely free. That means I get nothing in terms of commission, but that's fine because that means you guys get the best deal, and that's why you should be using MEXC. Also has like well over like 3,000 or 4,000 different crypto coins. Any coin you can pretty much hear about right now, you can buy. If it's on a centralized exchange, it will be on MEXC. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm in America and I can't access it and blah, blah, blah. It's really difficult. Well, okay, then use a NordVPN. Link down below in the description. Actually, as well, it's a Black Friday deal. So you can appear to be in another country, like the UK, and then you can trade using MEXC, saving yourself tons of money. Not only that, if you use my link, you'll get 4 months extra free. And NordVPN is going to be able to protect you against people spying on your crypto wallets and all the exchange trading and stuff you're doing. And if you click Get NordVPN, you can get it for as little as £2.30 per month, plus the 4 months free. So 4 months free, and then it's going to be £2.30 a month. £2.30 is like, I don't know, $2.60, something like that. $3, less than $3, okay? Less than the price of a cup of coffee each month to protect you while you're trading, to be able to use MEXC and completely avoid exchange trading fees. Now that gets you like the basic version, which basically protects you from loads of stuff. You won't have all these kind of extra bits and pieces. That's fine. You know, you can go and add those on if you so wish, with the kind of extended package, which will cost you around 70 or 80 pence more per month. But guys, you won't pay anything for the first 4 months, okay? Absolutely free. No brainer, in my opinion. All that can be found through the link down below in the description. Join the free Telegram. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.